I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Sarah, didn't you just post a ridiculously long TBR? Yes, I did. And you know what? I'm back again. TorDotComAThon was just announced over on Bethany's channel at Beautifully Bookish Bethany. I can never say that channel name without stumbling a little bit. She just posted an announcement video along with all of her co-hosts, and so I thought, heck yeah, Tor is one of my favorite publishers. I have been reading and reviewing their books since I started reviewing like 10 years ago, so I have to take part in this. Not to mention, in my defense, at least 2 of the books on that ridiculous TBR are Tor titles, so why not just throw a few more into the mix? So not only is this going to be my TorDotComAthon TBR, but I'm also going to include some recommendations. I'm not going to include a lot because I know that a lot of people are posting a lot of different recommendations. I just thought I'd throw some in, just some that I have read in the past, reviewed, some maybe I don't hear a lot of people talk about, or some that just really deserve every recommendation they could possibly get. So I'm going to start with those. And again, some of these I'm sure you have seen on everyone else's channels, so we won't dwell on those too long. But I'm going to start it off with Djèlí Clark, who I believe I mentioned in the same TBR video, but who I cannot recommend enough. I love Djèlí Clark. I love his work. I love it, I love it, I love it. So the most common one that you will see of Djèlí Clark on people's channels is Ring Shout, which is a novella, and it is a historical fantasy about the idea of the Ku Klux Klan being actually demonic beings that are transforming hate-filled people into these beings, and it's really a conversation on how hate makes you something different and makes you sort of a monster in its own way. Fantastic story. I also really enjoy his Dead Djinn universe books, so this includes The Haunting of Tramcar 15 and I think it's called A Dead Djinn in Cairo, both of which are very short stories, and I believe both of which are still free online on Tor.com's website, but you can also buy them very cheap on Kindle. I think Haunting of Tramcar 15 is like $5 and Dead Djinn is maybe $1 last I checked. And the book in that series, A Master of Djinn, I know wasn't everyone's favorite, but I really, really enjoyed it. So somebody I super recommend. He has other titles, and his newest book, A Beanie Song, is coming out in the middle of the year, so I'll be reading that arc. I just really recommend you pick him up. I think almost all of his work is through Tor. Nnedi Okorafor, another favorite. She has a lot of work with Tor, like the Benti series, Remote Control. I believe Noor is also through Tor. If you're looking to try her out, I really recommend her. I know a lot of people shout her out, but she would be a great pick for this readathon. A Taste of Golden Iron is one of my favorites from last year. It's from Tor.com. And a cozy political fantasy romance. So good. An older series that I almost never see anybody talking about is the Armored Saint series by Mike Cole. This one is heartbreaking and sad and hard to read, so just keep that in mind. These are all novellas, and these are about a girl who is thrust into a leading role in a rebellion, and about the loss and pain that can cause. It's almost like if a everyday person really did take up this role in this sort of fantasy world, what it would really cost them, sort of thing. And there is a sapphic romance in it as well. Again, it's hard to read because it takes a very hard, realistic look at war, but I really enjoyed it. The Ballad of Black Tom is another very popular one, and one I wholeheartedly throw myself behind. I love that one. A lot of people say to read the story it's based off of first. I don't, mainly because for several reasons I don't recommend Lovecraft. Political stuff aside, he was not a nice man, his books are racist, all this stuff. I just think he's overhyped. I've read quite a bit of Lovecraft and I just don't enjoy it at all. So I technically actually read this before I read the origin story and liked it more, and it's easy enough to understand as long as you understand that Ballad of Black Tom is a rewriting in a basically a seizing the narrative and giving it another perspective from one of Lovecraft's stories. So take that as you will. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. The Burning Girls and Other Stories is a great short story collection that's based in Jewish history, folklore, and fantasy. A lot of very unique and interesting stories are in this. And I read this a couple years ago, I think, when it came out. And just every story had me turning the page. It was so unique, and some of those still live rent-free in my brain. Wintertide by Ruthanna Emrys, who recently released A Half-Built Garden, I believe, is her newest book. Wintertide was the first book in this series that she has started. I think Half-Built Garden is also in that series. I haven't picked up Half-Built Garden, so I won't swear to it. But Wintertide is very fun. If you like the whole ancient god, ancient being, almost Lovecraftian inspired sort of situation, that's a very fun one to pick up as well. And my next recommendation is actually not going to be for everyone, and that's Spiderlight by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And the reason I say that it's not for everyone, because this is about a spider that gets turned into a person and starts to learn human attributes as they travel with a D&D basically inspired adventuring party. And I know that people don't like spiders, but I love spiders. And this is so good. That's a giant spider on the cover. There's a giant Hive mind spider. She's got all these spider babies. She sends one little spider baby with these people, and the wizard in this group, who's just completely not right in his head, and not a fun wizard way, turns him more and more people-y as they journal, and it's a journey, and it's so good. So under the radar. But again, I understand why. I also have to say, if you've not picked up Nettle and Bone, this is a great time. This is another Tor title. It's very good. And two more of my favorite series, the Psalm for a Wild Built and the Prayer for a Crayon Shy of the Monk and Robot books. Perfect time to pick these up. These are Tor.com themselves, and they are incredible. So that is the recommendations I have. Again, most of these are ones that other people would recommend to you as well. I threw in a few that I know don't get talked about as much. And I am not going by the bingo board because I'm really bad at that sort of thing. If I happen to get a bingo, I'm going to be very excited, but otherwise I'm just going to read the titles and enjoy them. So my recommendations may fit some squares. I think at a mental scroll in my brain they do fit some squares, but I did not actually look to see, so you can try and see what you can match where. But for my TBR, again, not striving for a bingo, just want to participate. I will be reading the group book because I have it on Kindle and it's been languishing there. Even though I know the end by C.L. Polk, I'm very excited about this one. I think it looks very fun. I like C.L. Polk. I read, I think, the first book in their just completed fantasy romance series, and I enjoyed it. I just have never gotten it back to it, so I will be reading that. A Beanie Song and Thornhedge were the two that were previously on my TBR in my last TBR video, so I will be adding those to the TorDotComAthon TBR, since they are both Tor titles. A Beanie Song is Peter Djèlí Clark's new book, and Thornhedge is Ursula Vernon T. Kingfisher's new book, so both of them I am very, very excited for. Both of those are anticipated releases for me. I also have The Warden as an arc that comes out, I think, in April. I will be getting to that. That's by Daniel Ford. I have, let's see, that's all the arcs I have. Nope, that's a lie. I have Dead Country by Max Gladstone, which comes out early March, so I should probably get to that before some of the others. In fact, I might pick that one up early, before March gets here. Yes, I probably should. The rest of these are already out. They're not arcs. So I have the Tinzeret series, I think is what this series is called. Yes, the Tinzeret series. So I have the first three. I have The Black Tides of Heaven, The Red Threads of Fortune, and Descent of Monsters. These are by Neon Yang. And these, I got them when the Tor.com paperbacks weren't super expensive. I got them on sale, and I just have not got to them yet. I love the covers and I love the ideas in these, especially the use of gender and choice in that, and the whole fantasy setting looks fantastic. So I'm very, very excited to finally have an excuse to force myself to read these. If I enjoy these, there's a good chance that I will go ahead and pick up the fourth book, and just add it. Since I have the first 3, there's no reason not to have a completed series, so that may be coming soon. And then I have the Singing Hills cycle by Niveau. I started this one back when it first came out, and I have the second one, I just have not read it. So I went ahead and re-downloaded the second one, and I put the third one on hold, so I will catch up on that series as well. I think the 4th in that series comes out this year. I also have the 2 sequel books to Benti. I don't know that I ever read these. If I did, I will be rereading them. So these are on the TBR because I got them when they came out. Again, these are the old covers. I just don't actually remember if I finished these. There's somebody coming. There was someone coming. It was my husband. Okay, so as I was saying, Benti, I will be finishing that series. And the final book that I have, I was going back through Tor's catalog, which I recommend doing. And there was one, Comeuppance Served Cold by Marion Deeds, that looked interesting. And I had not actually heard of it at all, so I am definitely going to be trying that. I have a sample downloaded. And actually, classic me fashion, there is one other, All the Horses of Iceland. I don't have the author written down on that. I have that as well on Kindle that I'll be picking up. So that is my mini additions to the TBR. Let me know if you guys have read any of these, if you have thoughts, if you're joining the readathon, please let me know down below. And if you have any more recommendations of things that I have not mentioned or that I haven't read, and I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I will talk to you again soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.